Hello, my name's Penny. Welcome to Penelope's Chinwag. That's what it is. A chinwag about the week I've had. I think it's 10 days since I saw you last, something like that. But anyway, it's what I've been up to. Bit of knitting, bit of crafting, showing you what we're eating during the week. It might give you some ideas. Oh, my great-grandchildren feature this week. They do mostly, but they have their own little part to play. So there's that. They do some cooking with their mums, my granddaughters. So, well, I often say so I'm not going to say so anymore. Do you make yourself a drink when you listen to Chinwag or watch Chinwag? Tommy, whenever he goes anywhere, he wants to make a cup of tea, and he's perfected it. He's 16 months old, by the way. So let Tommy make you a cup of tea. So we say thank you, Tommy, for the cup of tea, and he does love to have a drink of tea. So it's quite lovely. It's amazing how quickly they grow up, isn't it? I expect you experience the same with your family. So what can I talk about this week? Well, first of all, my aunt in Ireland, Anne, you know her if you watch regularly. If not, she's my aunt in Ireland. That's what we call her. She's only 10 years older than me, and so we grew up, quite close. Well, I made a bakewell tart last week, and she said, my son-in-law loves bakewell tarts, and I'd forgotten because he comes from Yorkshire. So she made the most beautiful bakewell tart, and here it is. And I made a big one too. I did actually cook that in the oven because obviously the big one won't go in the air fryer. They came out lovely, being small, but I did a big one and took it to my daughter because she loves it and she doesn't eat wheat, so it's an ideal recipe. I made the pastry from, the free from, and it was absolutely gorgeous. Well, she loved it. I put icing on the top. Pete thought it was a little bit sweet, and the next one I'm going to make, I'm not going to put icing on the top. I'm going to try it without, because I had a little bit of mixture left over, and I put it in one of those, I've got one of those rubbery, fairy cake cups, and I popped it in the air fryer, I don't know, 6 minutes or something. So it didn't have any pastry, it just had the mixture. Oh, I suppose it's frangipane, isn't it? It was gorgeous. So I've got a lot of cooking to do this week because I've got some friends coming to stay, and I'll show you what I make. But I'm going to make some frangipane cakes, and I'm going to make a bakewell tart, and I'll just put a very thin icing on the top of those, and then you've got the choice, haven't you? So that went down well, very well, that recipe. I've knitted a cardigan this week for my great-granddaughter, Mila, and that looks lovely on her. I was really pleased. We popped to see my daughter, and she was there, and she put it on. It looks lovely, so I'm going to show you that. It's an interesting make because you usually knit the fronts, don't you, and knit the back and then sew it together and put the sleeves in like that. But this one is on a yoke, and so I thought I'd show you if you've never done a children's one on a yoke. It's easy to show you. So I'll show you that and what it looks like. And then I've done another page for my book, age 5 to 10, and I've done another page of that. It doesn't look that good on screen really because I've inked it round with some beautiful, it's lovely, it's from Hobbycraft, but in real life it looks golden and sparkly, but on the camera it looks a bit like mud. So please forgive that, but you might like to see what fabric I've chosen for the third page of my photo book. I'm just going to do one more page because I haven't got that many more photos, and then I'm going to start. So it'll be quite a narrow little album, and then I'm going to start well, I've got to make the album, and then I'll show you all the photos I put in, and the journaling cards, they call it. And yes, I'm going to write about my ages from 5 to 10. So that's that. So I'll take you upstairs to my crafty space and I'll show you that. Oh, and my friend Heather, she does make these memory bears and memory elephants and anything you want really she'll make. She makes quilts. And so I do give you her details if anybody would like something. If not, I just wanted to show off her work. So I'll see you after that. So we've seen the first page and we've seen the second page and now it's the third page. And the third page really is about my schooling. My school uniform was brown and yellow. And this is it. As soon as I saw this piece of fabric, I thought, oh, that's my school uniform. And I loved it. And so that's a special piece of fabric for me. So that had to go in. And then we got a magnet there. And then on this page, the ballerina, because I started ballet and tap classes and I absolutely loved it. And I'd put on shows and Mum and Dad came to see me and I had my ballet dress and but I love tap best of all. Yes, I'm filming. Okay, he's just bringing me a cup of tea. So that's why that's there. And then, just a bit of fun, being out and, the family and I don't know. I just love that piece of fabric. Yeah. Thank you, love. Pop it there. Thank you. And then, of course, I was old enough then for a bike. So I had a bike. And I still love being at home with Mum and baking the fairy cakes and making cups of tea when people came round. And that's a piece of liberty. I love that fabric. So that's my third page. And I'm only doing 4 pages because I haven't got very many photographs. That is going to, that'll hold all my photographs. And I want 1 more page because that's going to be about the seaside because I always went to Cornwall and I keep that in a box. We went and visited a long time ago, Windsor Castle, and we bought Mum some napkins, beautiful embroidered napkins. So I'm keeping the pages in there until I put them together. So it's just going to be a small album just with 4 pages. And then I will do another one for, age 10 until I got married, which was 19. Because again, not too many photos. So, yes, we'll be zipping along. And then the other thing I wanted to show you was this. I've knitted this week. It's knitted up so quickly. And here we go. The front. Can you see it? There we are. The front and a sleeve and the back and a sleeve and another front. It's lovely wool. It's Rowan. I'll put it on the screen what the wool is, or tell you when I'm talking about it. And what you do is you put the stitches on stitch holders and then you knit right the way across. So you're making the yoke and you knit the yoke and then you do these short rows for the back. I've never knitted anything like it, but yes, it's come well. Here's the short rows. So we've got this nice, just like the shawl I knitted, we've got the curve. And then once that's done, then you knit the rib and then do the button band. So I wanted to show you that before I sewed it up, if you're unfamiliar with that kind of way of doing things. And then I'll show you what it's like when it's sewn up. and how it was received. Oh, look at this. I've got this to show you. My friend made it for me. Do you like it? You fold the pieces. Can you see? You fold them. It's a technique. They're pot holders, but I mean, who would want to use it as a pot holder? I put my best pens on there, and I love it. It's absolutely beautiful. You can see how she's sewn it on the back, but how it's folded. And I'm going to put some photos up here of some elephants that she's made, I think, or are they bears? I think they're elephants. And she's got a place where if you wanted to order some, she sells them. And she'll make them of any fabric you want. People have them as memory bears or memory elephants. And then one lady, her darling dog died, and she wanted to put the ashes in a dog that looked similar to her own. And this is what my friend made. And she was very worried about it. But the lady, on receiving it, had a good cry. And I think it went down really well. I hope you enjoyed that. What a lovely idea that little dog was, wasn't it? And oh, she was so worried about it, but it so resembled the real dog. And I know the lady was very, very happy with it. So I think it's time for the fascinating fact now. It's about, can I say, a wood frog. See, I wanted to say tree frog then. I don't know why. Anyway, something I wanted to mention. I check when I do the fascinating facts. I check everything, always double checked. And I found out, well, I was watching David Attenborough, funnily enough, and he'd said about the wood frog. He held one. So, of course, I looked wood frog up. And I'm showing you the fascinating fact about it. I didn't know. But I had something sent to me this week about tree that's only flowers every 400 years. Of course, I looked that up, and it's false. We have false news, don't we? But these are false facts. So I wanted to reassure you that my fascinating facts are checked, double checked, and they're all kosher. I wanted to say they're all just right. So this one is about the wood frog. So I hope you enjoy it. It's quite amazing what design to be able to. Anyway, I'll leave you to watch it. A wood frog is very easy to recognise because of its mask-like features around its eyes. Most wood frogs live in forest areas in the cold regions such as the Arctic Circle and in Alaska. They survive in frozen bodies for weeks at a time. They're active during the spring and summer months when it's warm. During the autumn, the frog's heartbeat stops and its breathing ceases. The wood frog can remain frozen for several months. In the spring, when the temperatures begin to rise, the wood frog thaws out and becomes active again. By thawing from the inside first, they can gain full consciousness and be ready to hop away as soon as their limbs catch up to their brain and body. They do this by producing their own antifreeze in the form of glucose. They may appear frozen solid when you pick them up, but their body is only about 65% frozen. Scientists discovered another strategy the frog uses to stay alive. During the winter day, the temperature is slightly warmer. Wood frogs thaw a little and use this opportunity to build up and produce even more antifreeze. So, as the winter goes on, they build up more and more to make sure they stay alive. Once the spring is in full swing, they hop into a pond and do some spring cleaning by flushing out all of the built-up glucose and urea. I'd love to see one. I expect if you're up there in northern Canada, you do come across them and you know about them. But yes, imagine being able to freeze and then produce antifreeze and thaw out and have no ill effects. Absolutely wonderful. So I wanted to show you my friend Heather, not Heather who does the dogs and the elephants, another friend. You know, she's written poems. If you've seen me before, you'll know she writes the wonderful poems. And I know some of you really love her poems. I have asked her for another one. Maybe one will come along soon. Anyway, her mum, when she saw the animals that I make, she wanted to, well, I've interviewed her, you've seen her, Dolly, and I went up to Scotland and showed you her. Oh, she's a wonderful craftswoman, but she has knitted the ram and the horse and the mouse. And so I wanted to show you, and I'll put them up here and you can have a look. They're absolutely beautiful. I think she's going to knit the owl next. She was waiting for the wool last time I heard. So when that's finished, yeah, it's lovely, lovely to see. And she really enjoys doing it. Once you start on those, well, we call them toys, but once you start on those animals, where they take you over. I've stopped for a little while because I wanted to make some clothes. So, but there we are. They're beautiful, aren't they? I meant to say that knitting knockers was mentioned to me when I read the bit out about Anne's piece in the Irish Times. And apparently ladies in America, they knit breasts for people who, you know, have had the operation and need them because they're very light and they're very warm and comfortable. And there is a Knitting Knockers UK, but at the moment they say thank you very much. They have enough volunteers and they have enough of these breasts. So I'm keeping my eye open that if at any time it does come up, yes, we would like some more volunteers, that I'll let you know because I think it's a lovely thing to do. I said I'd mention that, but when I did some more research, as I say, it just says in the UK they have enough. And the other thing I wanted to mention, with the elephants, there is a pattern on YouTube and it's called Elephant Cuddle Doll, and it's by Lisa Pay, and she shows you how to make them, and you can sell them on should you wish to. So if you wanted to have a go at making the elephant, that's the pattern. Okay, I think that's it. Oh, I'll take you now for me barging into the kitchen. As you know, Pete likes to play his music quite loud. He likes to shut the door and he likes to cook dinner, but I'm barging in now and just saying, oh, what's for tea? So I'll put that up now. I did that during the week just a couple of times, and it might give you an idea of what to have for tea. And also using the air fryer. That's what some have asked, you know, show us how to use it. Well, I do mention just the times and what to put it on. Your air fryer might be different to mine. I can thoroughly recommend the Kasori Dual Blaze because it cooks from underneath and on. Anyway, I'm not going to advertise that, but you know, here it is. Here's our tea time during the week. So we've got cauliflower.
Hang on. Don't show that yet.
And how long have they been on, Laura?
Oh, I don't know. I just kept doing them a bit more and a bit more.
So about 20 minutes for the chicken on, well, on chicken, isn't it?
Yeah,
you did it on chicken. And then the collier was about 10 minutes with the carrots and the potatoes, about 10-15.
Yeah, 14 for the
40.
carrot, but I parboiled it.
You parboiled the collie?
Yeah.
Okay, parboiled the collie and oh, righty-ho, so that crash bang roll up, sorry about that, I'll have to turn the sound off. So we're just up now. This is our Saturday tea.
Is it?
Oh, is it now dinner or tea? We're still on that subject.
Food.
Right, food. Righty-ho. Right, so cauliflower with cheese on top, nice peas, chicken, carrots, and Pete's got potatoes, but I'm not having potatoes tonight. Yeah. They've
They're
done
not
all right,
crispy.
haven't they?
Well, they're
And we're
all
having
right.
it on a tray in front of the TV. TV dinner, is that what they call it? Okay, that's our Saturday tea. Menu today, Pete.
What you asked for.
Right, we've got pasta.
Mushroom.
We've got pasta in there. That's simple dimple, isn't it? And what's in here?
We've got mushrooms,
Yes.
courgettes, onion, and celery that you wanted.
Okay.
And it's just a very brown looking thing at the moment.
Right.
Get that reduced down.
Yeah.
And we're going to chuck some, what do you call it?
Cream.
That's the one, that's the word, yeah.
Lovely. All right. I'll
Well, that
see
can go
it
down
when
now.
it's dished up. Creamy sauce now.
It has.
Yeah, just cream, really. A simple tea, isn't it?
Well, there's a little bit of wine in it.
A little bit of wine. Oh, that would be nice.
A little bit of wine in it. I'm just going to put some in here now.
Oh, you put it in with...
Oh, look at that.
Oh, don't worry.
Can you move out of the way?
Yes, I'm in your way. When you put it in there, do you?
Yeah.
I mix it all round.
Yeah, so then you get...
I'll get out his way and I'll show you when it's dished up. Oh, lovely. So here we are, here's my dinner. And it's, what is it in there, Pete? Mushrooms, courgettes,
celery,
onion. Oh yes, shallots or onion?
Oh, shallots, sorry.
Shallots, yes. White little wine.
White wine.
Okay, cook that out though, don't you? So it doesn't taste too winey.
You have to.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And then
some
pasta. And that's our tea. We had a lovely TV dinner last night, didn't we? I think it looks like we're going to have another one. We watched Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris.
Oh, that was brilliant, yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. We loved it. Okay, so what we've got for tea tonight is some spuds for Pete. I'm not having potatoes, but they'll all be crisped up. And then over here, we've got some shallots and tomatoes, courgettes ready to go.
Peas.
Oh, and peas will be put in there, yeah, and some liver. So I'll show you that when it's cooked. It's a quick tea. The smell that's coming from here is lovely. Those shallots and tomatoes.
Shallots. That's shallot.
This one spud, was it a big one?
Oh, it was a bit fairly big.
Well, you've got a nice tea there. Liver, courgettes, peas, tomatoes and shallots. And that's my one. Super duper. So there we are. So it's Tommy's bit next, how he loves his food. He eats everything you put in front of him. And his mum is a beautiful cake maker. Lois, she really is superb. But at the minute, she's got enough on her hands with baby. And she bought, Nan, she said, I bought a Hey Dougie. It's one of the television programmes here. Hey Dougie cake mix. And he made it with her. And he did everything. He put the little tickets on and thoroughly enjoyed doing it. So here he is, 16-month-old, making his first set of fairy cakes, I think. Enjoy.
What's in there? Oh, we've got butter in there, look, and we're going to crack the egg now. Ready? Yeah, ready. Wow! Look! Look at that! Is that the egg? Right, now we're going to pour this in. Can you pour this in? Look, pour it in there. Tommy, do it. Oh, well done. Yay! Yeah, now you're going to stir it. Look, ready? Tommy, get a spoon. Ready? We stir it up. Wow. Yeah, we stir it up. Look there. Sweet. Good boy. You do. Yeah, you're doing it. That's it. Wow. Now we add a little bit of water in there. Mummy, add some water in, look. 1, 2. Let's add one more little one in there. There we go. Now you're going to mix it. Yeah.
Well, I hope you enjoyed Tommy making some cakes. Next, it's Mila, my other granddaughter, Georgina, and she's making pizza for tea. And of course, George, the new baby, he can't join in, but he's showing off his new woolly that fits him now. It's rather too big a little while ago when I made it, but now it fits him. So enjoy the pizza making. It looks more like, to me, it looks more like, you know, when you see sailors scrubbing the decks. That's what conjured up in my mind. Anyway, I leave you to make your own conclusions.
Here. On here. That's it. Squeeze. Okay. Good job. Okay. Now, pizza. Very good. Oh, oh no. Whoops. No! No! That's it. And spread. So like this. Gently, gently. Easy does it. I have them fruits. Okay, so put some mushrooms on there.
See what I mean about scrubbing the decks, but it looked very delicious and I wouldn't have minded a bit. Oh, so it's lovely to do things with the children, isn't it? I'm sure you do too if you're able. So I just wanted to show you a couple of stalls. We went out for lunch to our favourite restaurant and I took a photo of some stalls and I forgot to show you. We know the owner there and we were chatting with her and she said, I didn't need them, but yes, I wanted them. So she said, I bought them. And I'll put them up here and you can see, I just thought they were absolutely beautiful. They're a tapestry and well, you have to have a second look at them. Just lovely, both sitting there. And yeah, I thought you might appreciate that. So, shall we do a bit about the anxiety, the ABC? That's what we're doing. The ABC of anxiety. A is often an inference. That's what we say, an inference. What does that mean? Well, A is for adversity. We all have adversities, don't we? But what we make is an inference about them. We make a decision. It means this. When in actual fact, we don't know what it means at all, because until it happens, we can't decide. And usually when it does happen, we can manage it. But it's that bit in between, isn't it? So for instance, your boss might say, oh, I want to see you after lunch. That's an adversity. Oh, my giddy aunt, he wants to see me. What does that mean? He might be wanting to give me the sack, criticise my work. I've gone down that rabbit hole. We call them rabbit holes now, don't we? It's an inference. We infer that he's going to say something bad. Now, it could be true. He might want to give us the sack or say something about our work, but it might be false. And that's what we don't know when we look at the A of the ABC. Is it true? And when I was teaching Pete this many years ago, he'd often come up, he'd say this, that, and t'other. And I'd say, is that really true? Do you know that? Oh, see what you mean. No, I don't. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, but that puts us into worry mode. That puts us into anxiety. Because why does it put us into anxiety? Because there's nothing we can do about it. Because until the boss has spoken to us, there's nothing we can do. And that's what often causes us anxiety, when we feel there's nothing that we can do. So let's look at that again. The ABC. The B is our beliefs. Our beliefs about this adversity, about this inference of what we've made. Now, our beliefs, they can be rational or they can be irrational. Let's think about the boss saying, oh, I want you to see you this afternoon after lunch. Well, if we're rational, then we'll say, well, I wonder what he wants. Okay, that's interesting. Well, I'll deal with it when he's told me. But irrational is, oh no, I've done something wrong. Oh, that's dreadful. Oh, supposing he wants this, supposing he wants that. That's the irrational side. Now, if we have the irrational beliefs, we'll just suffer from the anxiety till we actually meet him. How many times has it happened to you? Oh, it wasn't half as bad as I thought. Yeah. So let's hold on to our rational thoughts. I wonder what he wants. Well, whatever he wants, I'll be able to manage. I'll be able to sort it out with him. And C is the consequences. Because if we go down the rational side, the consequences of our boss saying, I want to see you after lunch, is not too bad, really. Or we might have a bit of anxiety. We might have, we can manage it. But if we propel ourselves into that future that we don't even know, well, we can't do anything about it in the here and now. Well, our emotions, our behaviour, well, we can't get on with the rest of our work till we've seen him. You see, and our thinking, it goes all over the shop. So ABC, adversity, could be true or false, but we need to keep our beliefs rational rather than irrational, and then the consequences for us will be much better, because the consequences of the rational and irrational affect our emotions, our behaviour, and our thinking. So it's about this going beyond the facts, going beyond the data. That's what we say, going beyond the facts. The note from the boss says, I want to see you after lunch. He's going to criticise my work. I've gone beyond the fact. I don't know that. It may be accurate, it may be inaccurate, but it goes beyond what I know. So we need to then look at our demands, the demands we put on ourselves. If our demands are should or must, I've spoken about those before, then, well, our emotions and our behaviour and our thinking will go down that slippery slope. If we say, I must be approved, the boss must approve my work. He mustn't say anything bad. You must treat me fairly. Life must be comfortable. If I've got those musts and oughts and shoulds, they're demanding words, aren't they? Then our anxiety is going to shoot right up there. If somebody says something that, well, we don't feel they should say, it's a bit of a slur against me. I'm hurt. Well, if we have a should, ought, must in place, they shouldn't have said that. What makes them say that? No, that's wrong. Well, we're going to feel very hurt, and we're going to feel quite anxious as well. But if we lower that, and if we're flexible and say, well, I want to be approved, but I don't have to be. I want you to treat me fairly, but regrettably, you don't have to. I want to be comfortable in my life, but unfortunately, life isn't like that. if we lower those demands from the should, ought, must to I want to, I would like, but I live in the real world and I know people do say things to upset you, to upset me. I know that life isn't always comfortable. I know that I'm not always treated fairly. Well, I can cope with that a lot better. I don't feel that shoot of anxiety. Why? Because we've negated the demand. Yes, we'd all love to say you should, you won't, you must, I must. But you see, if we negate that demand and we say, well, you know, I'd like it to be, but it doesn't have to be, then we'll find that our anxiety, it comes down rather a lot. So next time I'll show you a little bit more about how beneficial that is. And just to say I would like, I don't want, I prefer is much better than I should, ought and must. Because then we have a bit of flexibility in our life. When that person says that, well, they shouldn't say that, it's obvious. Well, then our behaviour is going to shoot up. But if we say, well, that's what happens. People aren't always the same as us, are they? People are going to upset us. People say the wrong things. If we can find ways round it, then our anxiety will come down a lot. I hope that's helpful. So just to tell you a little bit more about the end, because as you know, I always have a little film. And this week, the flowers in the garden have been opening up. The sun's been shining. We've still had a bit of a wind. We haven't got the wind here today, but we haven't got the sun. But I think it's going to come. So when we've had the sun, it's been windy. But it's been lovely anyway. Lovely to see that sun. And the flowers have been opening. And so I took a little film of the flowers in the garden and of our walk into town along the seaside. So I'll see you next time. I don't know when that'll be. I've got a busy couple of weeks coming up, but it may be that I can, I can see you before then. So don't worry about me if you don't see me. But if you do see me, well, I'll just say hello. So enjoy the film. Thanks for joining me. And I'll see you next time. Take care and have a good week. And bye-bye.